We've been getting a lot of calls into our newsroom about a small earthquake that occurred about 10:15 tonight. We've contacted UC Berkeley, and experts right now are trying to pinpoint exactly where the epicenter was of that earthquake. They believe it occurred along the Hayward Fault. As soon as we have more information, of course, we'll bring it to you. The cold weather we're experiencing here in the Bay Area is really nothing compared to what people in Europe are feeling. A Siberian chill has been hanging over most of France since before Christmas. Temperatures in Paris dropped into the teens today, and the homeless have been suffering, and 9 people have died. For the first time this season, officials opened a subway station for the homeless all night long. A group of doctors criticized the government for not coming up with an acceptable plan to house the homeless. And in Italy, people are digging out from 1 to 2 to 3 feet of snow in the southern part of the country, which normally has very mild weather. There are also record low temperatures. Local officials today declared their areas disasters as they tried to clear the snow. At least one airport reopened, but others remain closed tonight. Well, we have weather all around the world, and certainly it's been cold here in the Bay Area. Pat joins us now.
Lots of weather off the coast, too. To the north of us, to the south of us.
Coming at us from both directions.
Yeah, exactly.
Sky over the Bay Area right now, depending on where you are, is either mostly clear or partly cloudy with increasing clouds. The temperature here at Jack London Square, a nippy 43 degrees, and the barometer 30 and 3/100 inches of mercury. Last night, temperatures ranged from the mid-20s to the mid-30s. In fact, there were lots of teens in some of those sheltered valleys here and there. This afternoon, the highs ranging from a 46 up at Santa Rosa, San Rafael, to about a 55 in Fremont, most below normal. Santa Rosa was 10 degrees below normal. Around the state, Sacramento 45, looks like a rainy 45 tomorrow. Los Angeles 61, and it looks like a rainy 61 tomorrow. Lots of weather in the Pacific today. A cold Arctic air mass up here, a tropical storm down here. Cold rain falling as far south tonight as the Golden Gate Bridge. That's from something in the north of us. Wait till I tell you about what's down in the south of us getting ready to come up. Just off the coast, there's some rain ready to hit Santa Barbara in just about 6-7 hours from right now. It's the combination of cold air over northern California and this little front that's working just to the north of us with the mild, moist tropical air coming up from the southwest. It's going to give us some heavy Bay Area rain, probably starting late tomorrow sometime. The heavy rain will be down in the South Bay counties because this whole thing will be coming up from the north. And more heavy, wet snow in the Sierra. That'll be coming in late tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night. Now, the high pressure is well out of the way, and the split jet stream is creating the kind of dynamics that could produce up to 3 inches of rain in the Los Angeles area. As I say, the storm will be approaching from the south, so we expect the most rain in the South Bay, maybe 1 or 2 inches. That's late tomorrow. In the meantime, we could get some cold, freezing rains up in the North County from that little cold front that's sitting on top of us. Well, let's take a quick look at Lake Tahoe tonight. It's right under there. We may not get to see the lake on a satellite for a little while. There will be a winter storm watch in effect, and that could be upgraded to a storm warning at any time. So you mountain travelers, beware of that. Let's see, do we have time for a little bit of a look at the national weather? What's our time situation? Good. On the national weather scene, strong thunderstorms in the east causing 3 to 4 inches of rain in just 3 hours in southeastern Arkansas. Strong winds in Texas, blowing down trees and signs. Plain dealing Louisiana reporting 64-mile-an-hour winds. And while all this was happening, several no-injury tornadoes hitting down near Lakeland, Florida. Well, 40s, 50s, and 60s on the East Coast, where it'll be kind of warm. 30s and 40s on the West Coast tonight. Tomorrow, the highs start below 0 in northern Montana, warming up to an expected 80 degrees down in Miami. We didn't see that graphic, but believe me, it's going to be warm in Miami. Here's our Bay Area forecast then. North Bay counties, chance of freezing rain. That would be in some of those sheltered areas. Elsewhere, variable clouds, mid-20s, low 40s. Then tomorrow, rain is very likely by the afternoon hours. This will be the rain that's coming up from the south, upper 40s and 50s, gusty southeasterly winds. And looking ahead, we have moisture in the air. Probably, we may get a little break there on Friday, but we could have rain here in the Bay Area on and off through the weekend. So lots more weather
keeping you busy. Remember when it was fog along the coast, sunny inland? Remember
Yeah,
those days?
fog in the morning, sun in the afternoon.
Okay, thanks very much, Pat.
You're welcome.
Bart ended the year carrying more passengers than ever before, but also by suffering its worst derailment in history. Last month's derailment injured 13 passengers, damaged 4 cars, and led Bart officials to say the 20-year-old system needs hundreds of millions of dollars worth of work. Vern Hawkins reports on Bart's safety and Bart maintenance.
Richmond, one of 4 maintenance yards, keeps shift workers on duty around the clock to keep an aging system patched together. Car number 552, one of Bart's original B cars. It's traveled more than 1 million miles. 590 of these cars, 3/4 of the fleet, are 20 years old. They come in for maintenance every 550 hours of service. That's more often than their newer counterparts. This one gets new floor panels. The originals were rusted and corroded around the doors. Bart wants to rebuild these original cars. That would cost around $400 million Bart doesn't have. But it would keep these cars going another 20 years. As it is now, old cars need more repair.
We will see some cracks in the roof panels, some corrosion on the floor panel, and some wiring problems.
But you're saying the car's still safe even with that?
Oh, absolutely. There's no question in my mind. The cars are safe. When they come in, they're thoroughly checked out, and we don't put a car out unless it meets all our standards.
Car number 402, a C car, 3 years old, gets checked out every 600 hours. Pretty routine stuff, sort of like servicing the family car, although interiors show wear for more and more passengers. This shop works over some 400 cars a month. Usually they're back on track in 8 hours. More passengers climb on board each year. Most aware of recent mishaps still feel confident.
I feel pretty safe.
You do?
And I look at it as being one of those things that, just happen.
I feel a lot safer on Bart than I would on a freeway. When one wreck every how many years where somebody gets hurt compared to every day on the freeway.
Bart officials insist the system's safe, but agree that age takes its toll, and that the cost of keeping an old fleet running takes a toll on the budget. In Richmond, Vern Hawkins for the 10 o'clock news.
And coming up on the 10 o'clock news, a new and revealing video is out featuring none other than the teenager known as Long Island Lolita. We'll be right back.
Bus.
Last night looked like the end of the Amy Fisher Film Festival. You know, the story of the so-called Long Island Lolita. 2 of the 3 big networks aired their version Sunday night. The other ran earlier. But no, it's not over. Another Amy Fisher video has now surfaced. And as Eric Sean reports, the alleged victims in the case say they're sick of it, but they're still talking.
I don't think it'll ever end with her. I really don't. One after another. It's just another face of Amy Fisher, like Sybil.
Even Joey and Mary Jo Buttafuoco are fed up with the Amy Fisher story. It's the day after their unprecedented doubleheader of network TV movies, and Amy is in the headlines again. Her latest claim to fame, undressing herself on yet another homemade sex video.
Are we taping?
Yes, Amy, the tape is rolling, and millions of people have seen this striptease courtesy the tabloid TV show Hard Copy.
There are things that are newsworthy and there are things that are not. Somebody's private conversations, a videotape of someone's private bedroom activity, is that person's business. It's grotesque. It's just absolutely grotesque.
While Amy's lawyer, Eric Nyberg, denounced Hard Copy for showing the tape, Amy's victim angrily says it again reveals the troubled girl that Amy is.
Yeah, it seems like it never ends. In one way, it's a little redundant because it's another sex tape of Amy Fisher. But on the other hand, what is it going to take for people to see that this is a very sick girl?
I just don't think that you're ever going to figure out Amy Fisher. I don't think anybody's going to figure that mess out.
Are you getting sick of all the attention?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I really am. Yeah. We were very private people, Mary Jo and I, and the kids. Very private. And all that's out in the open now, you know.
With the movies now finished and Amy in prison, the Buttafuocos hope to resume their normal life. But they are now national household names, and they know they can never revert to the anonymity of before the shooting, no matter how hard they try and put this case behind them. I'm Eric Sean, Fox News, Massapequa, Long Island.
And before we say goodnight, a lot of people called to our newsroom tonight saying they felt what they thought was an earthquake at about 10:15 this evening. We contacted seismologist Dr. Robert Urhammer at UC Berkeley and told him about those calls. He looked at his seismograph and said, sure enough, there was a small earthquake in the Bay Area at about 10:15. But so far, that's all he's been able to determine. We've heard no reports of any damage at all from this small earthquake tonight. That is our report for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. For Dennis Richmond, everyone here at KTVU, I'm Elaine Corral. Our next newscast is mornings on 2 beginning at 7 a.m. and then the 10 o'clock news.